Hello and welcome to the AI Business and Innovation Podcast. I'm Daniel Halbert. Today's guest is Dr. Yaniv Zaid. He's known worldwide as Dr. Persuasion. He's an internationally acclaimed expert in sales, marketing, negotiation, and public speaking. With 11 best-selling books and over 2,500 keynotes globally, Yaniv, welcome to the show.
Hi, Daniel. It's great being here. Thanks for inviting me.
We see AI is transforming the landscape not once, but many times over and over again. And everyone scrambles to try to find the best tools to use to try to get ahead. I'd like to open up the conversation, getting to know you a little bit and how you earned the name Dr. Persuasion. We want everybody to get ahead today, so let's jump right in.
Okay, great. So I'm 48 years old. I'm married for the second time. I have 3 kids, 3 boys, and I live in Tel Aviv in Israel. And I'm a global speaker and a business consultant. I am a lawyer and economist, and I have a PhD in law. And I started 22 years ago. I studied law and economy in Haifa University in the north of Israel. And then I joined the debate society. Debate, it's you take a subject, you argue in cons and pros, and in favor and not in favor, and you against audiences or judges, professional judges. I participated in many competitions worldwide. I reached number 3 in the world in the World Championship in South Africa in 2003, and I reached semifinals in European Championship 2002. And then I realized that the debate method is very, very good, not only for students and people who are joining debate societies, but also for everyone. So I wrote my first book, a dream since I was a child to write a book. So I wrote my first book when it was published when I was 27 years old. It's called the Public Speaking. It's on bestseller on Amazon till today. And then I started lecturing about it. 22 years later, I'm now, like you said, more than 2,500 lectures and speaking gigs worldwide. And I understand my mission in life is to help individuals and businesses to improve their public speaking abilities, their persuasion abilities, sales abilities, and marketing abilities. And if you are a business owner for 22 years and you're a global speaker, then you need to adapt yourself all the time to changes and trends. We are in a very interesting time. Many changes has happened since I started my business. So each couple of years, you need to evolve yourself and to create a new business model, a new business actually. So we are now experiencing the AI revolution, but we had more revolutions before. For example, when I started in 2003, there was no Facebook, no YouTube, no mailing lists, no TikTok, Instagram, everything. No social media, actually. It began in 2005, 2006. So when I started, I used to market myself, for example, with fax machines and phone calls and face-to-face meetings and letters, letters by email that you send with stamp to people, and all kinds of methods. And then social media came. It was a really revolution. At the beginning, people used it just for social, not for business purposes. I remember when I used to publish my workshops on Facebook, or in 2009, 2010, people told me, why do you do it? Nobody will come to the workshop because of a post on Facebook or something like that. So you always try to be an early adapter, to try to embrace technology and make technology a partner, your partner, not your enemy. So I guess we see today the AI is the same. Some people see AI as enemy who will replace them. I see AI as my partner, and I can use AI to write better, to communicate better, to maybe to do automation marketing campaigns with people, to reach more people that I can reach today. But you always need to keep the secret ingredient of our capabilities, because if you are mediocre at what you do, then AI eventually can replace you, and it only gets better. But if you are very good at what you do and you have this secret ingredient, you have genius tools of very unique perspective of something that you're very good at, then AI won't replace you. It will be just a tool for you to keep going. So I believe every student, everyone needs to be an expert in something. And if you're an expert, then the technology can't replace you.
What's the biggest shift that you've seen in persuasion methodology due to digital and AI trends as of late?
AI, first of all, allows you to reach more people, more clients or potential clients, to write better. Many people that didn't know how to write or didn't have any creative ideas, suddenly they are very creative because of AI, because they can ask questions at the ChatGPT and other platforms. AI helps us with decision making. For example, I have clients who they had their conferences, so they ask AI, when is the best time to do a conference in a certain country, or what do you think our method should be? So we, without even noticing we ask the AI more and more questions, and they will decide for us. So again, most people don't like to decide for themselves, so AI is a great solution. Most people, they don't like to reach many clients all the time, so AI is a great tool. Most people, they're not creative in marketing writing, so AI is a great tool. So AI helps us, like I said, help maintain our business, reach more clients, increase our income. But if we are, again, mediocre and we use AI and we ask questions and we take the text of the AI and only put it out there without checking it or something like that, then we can fall, and then AI can replace us. And I think in 20 we take this interview in 2025, I think people, they have today the, let's say, fake radar or bullshit radar, that if they see content that is not true, or they see a content that clearly was done only by AI, they don't treat you as an expert, and they don't take you seriously. So again, we need to use AI, but not depend on AI, not to take AI, what the machine says or what the platform says is 100% true. We need to examine ourselves. I also deal with books. I wrote 11 books, 6 in Hebrew, 5 in English. They were translated to 12 languages. So today, one of the trends in the book industry is translating books to many languages with AI. And I can tell you right now, and I know the most innovative companies in this area, that it's not 100% true and truth and legit, and you need some experts, some translator, human translator, to take the translation after AI did the translation and check it. So if companies, they offer you, I will take your book and I will translate it with AI to many languages, they can finish it in a week, but then we will have many mistakes and the product will not be good. But if you take the translation and you put a translator and he examines all the content, then you and maybe they will do it for 1 month instead of 3 months, but at the end you will have a great product. So again, AI is our friend, is our partner if we know how to use it correctly, but it will replace us if we will be dependent on it.
So we can see that AI, it's a developing product that is assisting us to accomplish various tasks. And as you mentioned, especially the ones that the average person doesn't want to do. Very nice. Let's say we look forward and we recognize the fact that so many people have already adopted it and are filling in the gaps in their own sales business processes. And as a result, they've compensated now for these gaps. And now they've already had a little bit of time to see what the impact could be on their business. They might be thinking to themselves, hey, I think I just hit the nail on the head. I wonder what everyone else is doing. When they find out that everyone's listening to Dr. Persuasion, and then they've all applied the same tools and principles, and they've all taken on AI friendships, they might find themselves saying, well, I don't see how I'm going to be able to continue to differentiate myself to a discerning customer, especially. And once again, I'm going to find myself knocking on the door of AI and asking Dr. Persuasion, what can I do now that I've used AI to finish creating a good product in order to market it and distribute it in a way that also can give me an advantage?
Yeah. First of all, I wish everyone will implement my methods. Many people hear my methods, so everyone, they go to conferences, to workshops, people explain to them about AI, about marketing, about sales. But the problem is the implementation. To use it actually afterwards in your daily life. And most people, they stick to what they know and they stay in their comfort zone. So yes, my agenda is for everyone. That the AI will be our friend, not our enemy. And I can give you an example of what I do now. I join I believe in creative thinking, not competitive thinking, and I believe in corporations. So I did corporations now with 2 companies that deal with AI. The first company is Wisdom. It's an American company that what they do is they take non-fiction books, okay, and they take the authors and they create an echo for the author, because one of the problems with non-fiction books is to implement the book afterwards. For example, if you take my book about sales or marketing or negotiation, then, by the way, we talked about revolutions. So 20 years ago, there was only printed book, right? And 10 years ago, it was also ebook. And 5 years ago, it was also audio book. But now the next generation of books is books, meaning that, okay, so you read my book about negotiation, but then you have a negotiation 2 days later or 2 months later, but you need to ask me questions. You can ask me, you can call me, and I can be your business consultant, but I can't reach everyone and I can answer everyone all the time. And it's expensive, and you need to reach out to me, etc. What we did is we created an echo. We took all my content, all my book, for example, we gave it to the AI, and we created an echo, which is cloning me, actually creating an echo of me avatar AI of Dr. Yaniv Zaid, and you can ask questions today. If you get into the system, then you can ask, for example, hi, I have now a negotiation in this rooms, and now they offered me something hard to drink. What do I need to do to say yes or no? Something like that. Like you ask ChatGPT, and you get general answers combining many mentors, many different kind of approaches. You can consult me. So this is now on pilot stage. It's now for free, but soon we're going to charge it. So people who bought my book, then the next stage will be, okay, now buy my Echo, and you can ask me as many questions as you want. Each question, it's called credit, so you could buy credits, and then you could ask me questions like you ask ChatGPT. This is one example how I partner with AI. Another partnership I have is a company. It's called Callmarker. Callmarker is a company in England, in Manchester, and what they do, they offer sales consulting to big companies and organizations, especially to call centers. So they work with business or consultants on marketing. So instead of Echo, they call it plugin, but the idea is the same. They took all of my content in English, including, by the way, this interview afterwards, because they upload all the time from my Spotify, my YouTube, and all of my books in English. I have 5 books in English. They took all my content, and then they offer companies the chance to pay a usage fee and ask me questions. Ask my avatar AI, the plugin, ask any question they want for the employees. For example, a company buys the usage fee for using my plugin. They hand it over to their 20 employees in the call center, and then they can ask me, okay, this client now told me it's too pricey for me. What to answer? Give me a great answer, something like that. So it's like they're consulting me. Now the next stage is they can invite me personally to provide a sales workshop or sales lecture, something like that, or a speaking in their conference for clients. But this is something that I can multiply myself worldwide using AI. And it's something that it's a great opportunity, I think, for me, for every consultant, coacher, service provider, everyone who uses their content to make money, everyone who would like to monetize their knowledge. So AI gives a great example how to implement it, how to reach more people, how to sell our knowledge to as many platforms as possible, and how to clone myself.
Fascinating that you have such a positive affinity towards cloning yourself. I speak to different types of personalities, some that are opposed to it because they don't think, first of all, it's necessarily possible to clone themselves. Then again, they also might say it because they don't feel like it's something which they want. I mean, it could actually lead to all kinds of different types of confusions. Also, in terms of who is whom, like if you have a representative that's super good at telling everything about you to the user, and you are, let's say, on vacation and you're not as sharp for, you need to get back to your books, you've been in a different place, your head's in, maybe there's other things happening in life, all of a sudden you've been usurped to some degree by the AI and its constant, consistent capability. Is there something wrong about that?
Yes, first of all, the technology exists, so you have two choices: either ignore it and say, no, it's just another tool. I will do the same. I will act the same way I acted before the AI, or something like that, and then they can replace you, and then the market will go ahead, and you will stay left behind. But the second option is again, use it, not be afraid of it, but use it for your needs. Now, cloning, for me, it's great that you mentioned it, because for me, also writing a book is also to clone myself, right? Because 22 years ago, I wrote my first book, and I remember the book, it was public speaking in front of an audience, so it was based on my lecture back then. I dealt mostly with public speaking presentation, less with sales and marketing. And people told me, why do you write a book? Because if someone will read your book, they won't come to your lecture, right? Because all the knowledge is in the book. And I said back then, and 22 years later, I can tell you I was right, that it's on the contrary. So people will notice me or know about me through my book, because they will go to the bookstore and buy my book, and they didn't know me before. They will see, oh, Dr. Yaniv Zaid, public speaking, okay, let's buy this book, or on Amazon or something like that. And then they will read the book. And now some of them will say, okay, I have enough knowledge, I don't need to reach Dr. Persuasion, Dr. Yaniv Zaid. But some of them will say, okay, so I have this message, now I'm looking for a public speaker for my event, or I'm looking for a business consultant, or I have some questions about from the book, or who am I going to ask? The author. So it brought me job. Also, writing a book is to clone yourself, and doing it a audio version, an ebook version is also cloning yourself. So now in 2025, the option to clone yourself is doing it with AI. Now, it's not that I'm going to retire. I would like to stay relevant, and I would like to be the upsell and cross-sell of those products. For example, with Wisdom, with my Echo Avatar AI for my book, our next product is for me to have, for example, a meeting, global meeting, and I can tell all of my readers, would you like to meet me personally? Then you have on this day and this hour, 2 weeks from now, you can have a 1 hour with me, lecture, just a privilege to ask me questions. You will pay $50, $15, I don't know, $20, $100, no matter what, but this will be the upsell product or the cross-sell product, okay? And also with, like I mentioned, with call centers, you can buy my plugin and ask questions, my Avatar AI, but you can also invite me to England to have a full day sales workshop for your team. Okay, and I think it only grow my marketing and only grow my community and only grow my my income. If I do it that way. So I think of the positive sides of it.
Very interesting as well. Do you think that by the same principle, people write books, and when you write the book, you get things off of your mind. You like kind of store them away, and then it frees you up to your next evolution.
So first of all, let's say I speak to you now, okay? So if it was one-on-one meeting, then you're the only one who enjoys my value, right? Or my content or my practical tools for you, or practical tips. But if we take this conversation and record it and then we upload it and thousands of people or tens of thousands through the years watch it, then we contributed more value to the society, okay? So the same with book. This is transforming knowledge into income, business-wise, but transforming knowledge into value for more and more people. Okay, so I strongly believe in put yourself out there, put yourself in front of audiences, put yourself in front of customers. Even in marketing and sales, my approach is very proactive. By the way, I will say that even in the digital era, and maybe especially in the digital era, it's very important to communicate to people, to meet them face to face, to provide lectures and workshops and presentations face to face. If you'd like to be out there in some country, then physically go to this country, not just by Zoom. And I believe if we sit in the same room now, then there will happen some magic that the conversation will be greater or more interactive than what we're doing now. But still, the Zoom, for example, helps us. Another revolution, by the way. It's not evolution, it's revolution, because when the COVID started and people, before the COVID, imagine that there was a conference room and people invite 10 managers from all over the country. And then we say to people, you know what, guys, I'm taking it from home. Okay, just put a big screen. I'm going to talk to you from a screen, and it's okay. It will be the same, right? They will fire your ass, right? They will say, no, everyone should be here in this meeting. You can't take it from home. But after COVID, suddenly it's okay that people will work from home, and you can have global meetings. And it's okay that some people will be in the office, some will be by Zoom or by Riverside or whatever. So no problem. It's another revolution. Lecturing, okay, I lecture worldwide. For many lectures today I do by Zooms. It saves money for my clients, and it saves time and energy for me. I prefer personally coming to stages all over the world, but sometimes you can. So the Zoom and Riverside and all those online meetings also were a revolution. So now we're taking it to the next step. So you need to know how to use it, know how to implement it. And like I said, be friends with technology. And by the way, I'm not a tech guy. I have, for example, iPhone. I think the model is 14, 15, something like that. I almost don't know how to use it. I know only what I need to know. Okay, and I have a great technical team who does everything for me. People do everything for me. I need to do something they ask for them. I ask for it, but I don't know how to do it personally. But I understand this is why I cooperate a lot. This is why my tech team very, very good, because I don't want to know how to use the technical aspects. I want to understand the methodology, to understand the strategy, and then I know how to implement it in my business.
Thank you. How do you can you give some tips and tricks for how to effectively communicate virtually?
To communicate where?
Virtually, like through Zoom or
Virtually,
Riverside.
Yeah. Okay. So okay, first of all the tips for great communication are both online and offline. So for example, smile. If you enjoy the conversation, then people will notice. It's true if I speak to you by Riverside, or if I speak to you face to face in in a conference room or something like that. So smile, enjoy. I think the first principle of sales and marketing is love your clients. If
Does
you
this
love your
count?
clients,
How's my smile?
it's great. I can
How
see from the minute we start talking, before even you start recording, that you enjoy what you do. And you told me that you initiated it. You enjoy talking to people. You enjoy asking questions. You enjoy listening to them. So I think for sales marketing persons, the most important thing is love your clients. If you don't love your clients, then you have a problem, because all the time, all day, you need to talk to people. And by the way, AI replaced many people that are rude, or that are not nice to people, that they don't like to talk to people. So AI replaced them because it allows them to provide some automatic responses, right? But again, there is no there's nothing like meeting people in person. So first of all, enjoy meeting people, either way, by Zoom or by telephone or whatever. Second of all, and by the way, for speakers, love your audience. I think number one tip for speakers is love your audience. If you love your audience, they will love you back. So smile and enjoy. This is number one. Number two is gathering data on the other party. If I'm going to talk to you, I need to know whatever I can find about you. And today, in the digital era, in the AI era, we can gather any information we want. Think about it. 10 years ago, I would ask Facebook about you, right? And TikTok and YouTube. 20 years ago, I will ask Google about you. 40 years ago, I will ask people who know you, right? Today, I can just ask the ChatGPT tell me about Daniel Halbert, and they will tell me many things. By the way, some of them will be false, maybe, or they take some things that are not relevant. But I can ask Google and ask OpenAI, ask all other platforms, and I can look in your TikTok and YouTube and LinkedIn, and I know a lot about you. So before you talk to people, before you have meetings with them, negotiations with them, lectures with audiences, job interviews, whatever, and learn as many information as you can, because the more information you have on the other side, the more persuasive you are, and the more relevant you are, and you can establish also personal attention. I can talk to you about things they know you love for a fact, or something like that. So the information is out there. Just use it, okay? And another thing for communication is also knowing what are your problems and needs that I can answer. If I sell something to you, or I market myself to you, or I try to create a kind of conversation with you, then if I talk about myself, my interest, my areas of expertise, then maybe you don't care. Maybe you're not interesting, because people are interesting mostly in themselves. But if I ask you about yourself, and I identify your problems and your needs and your interests and your pains, and then I can tell you that my products or services or my ideas are the solution to your problems, or the answer to your needs, or the cure to your pains, then I'm relevant for you. Then you would like to keep going and keep talking to me, and then suddenly you find me interesting.
So, am I understanding correctly that the way that one delivers information, or when they're communicating, it might not be as important, like the tone or the specific words that you choose, as much as are you actually delivering the concrete value that you're there for? Because at the end of the day, like you mentioned, there are and there were more people that were able to fulfill sales development roles. As being rude and offensive, they were still able to drive enough sales to maintain their job. The only thing that was lacking was perhaps their ability to have a little bit more elegance in their way, in their style, but they're doing fine. So now we have here an idea that, do you think that people who are able to communicate the value that they're offering need to deliver it in a very elegant, proper, structured, sales appropriate style, in order to generally speaking, close what they're working on? Or more important, focus first on what you're trying to sell and the value, and then we'll talk about your style of delivery, but you might still be okay without having it fully polished.
So in debate methods, you have manner and matter. Manner is how you say things, and matter is what you say, the content. Okay, so it's both. They are both important, equally important. So matter is what do I say? If I use examples, which stories? How do I use emotions and logic? And which case studies do I provide, which numbers I use, okay, something like that. So it's very, very important what you do, that you have a model or a script. By the way, I write sales scripts to companies. I write landing pages to companies, and websites for companies. So you need to get the people, let's say, persuasion process or marketing process when you talk. So the data is important, and of course, only true data. Don't try to, to mix with the numbers, something like that, or tell something that are false. And because today, again, people have their, let's say, bullshit radar or fake radar, and they can immediately, see that you didn't, you weren't accurate or something like that. So this is the matter, and the manner is how do you say it. And sometimes the manner is even more important than the matter, because if I say something with a smile, or if I have good vibe with you, great energy between us, then you will forgive me if I say something that wasn't that accurate, or you can be more related to me, and then you'll be more comfortable working with me. For example, one of the trends today in marketing and sales is talking about your failures, not about your success, because 15, 20 years ago, sales and marketing was just about success. Just show that you're great at what you do, show all your track record, and social proofs and all your achievements, and tell how great you are, okay? And it's still true. You need to talk about yourself in a let's say, not a vain method, okay, and use social proofs, etc. But today, also people would like to know that you're not perfect, okay, that you're not perfect, that the product is not perfect, the service is not perfect, that they need to know things that they can relate to. And I always say to my clients, you need to be Batman and not Superman. Now what is the difference? Batman and Superman, they're both superheroes, they both look like human beings, but Superman is not actually a human being. He came from another planet. So if Superman will deliver a workshop how to fly, and I will buy the VIP ticket and I will sit in the first row, and they will explain exactly what to do. Go to the highest tower, go to the roof, check the wind, check the first step, and I will do exactly what he says. I'm still going to fall because he is from another planet. I'm not. Yeah, but we'll deliver a workshop how to fly, and then he will tell me, Yaniv, I'm just like you. I even had a shittier life, because the Joker murdered my parents when I was young, and I fell into a cave, and I was afraid of bats, afraid of darkness. But then I taught myself how to fly, and let me teach you. Okay, this is something I can relate to, So people need to know that you are not perfect. And all the social media today, you have, the Facebook illusion, the TikTok illusion, that it all sounds, better than bigger than life. Everyone sounds bigger than life. But if you can manage to be a professional and to provide value, but not to that people consider yourself as a perfect guy or just a regular guy, then people can relate to you because you are both professional and you are human. Sometimes, by the way, the AI, it makes you unhuman because it's too good. The text is too good. I know people that didn't write well, okay, and then started using AI and then give me some scripts or some landing pages. You see the landing pages I wrote. Hey, dude, you didn't write it. You just told the AI and they wrote you, and it wrote it to you, and you didn't even check it. Okay, and then immediately I see it's artificial, because I see I know you can't write in this method, and it's lack of emotions, it's lack of you. Okay, it's not you. So today even the AI is trying to be smarter, and you can take a text, they will write you, and then you say, okay, now write the same but humanize it, okay, just in more human aspect or something like that. And if you are popular and you have some data online, you can tell the AI, okay, now write the text like Yaniv Zaid would write it or something like that, okay, and then you can adapt it a little bit to your style. But if you just take the text and it's not it's artificial, then you can't relate to it. It's like Superman, it's not Batman. I would like to work with Batman, not with Superman.
Yeah, that's well taken. I have a question on that, but I want to also ask you about another topic since that was really holistic. Let's talk about negotiation and pricing. Negotiation and premium pricing strategies can either elevate or break businesses. How do you set premium prices successfully without pushing clients away?
Well, it's the $1 million questions. Question, or maybe for businesses, it's $100 million question. But for me, I would also I tell we talked about the fact that we need to be expert at what we do, right? The secret ingredient that if you are good, we have a unique perspective that no one can actually replace us, and also it can replace their products and services. So as more if you are an expert, people are willing to pay you more. Okay, because we always pay more for experts than people we don't consider as experts, and we always will pay more for products that are brands in comparison to products that are not brands. So you need to market yourself as a brand and as an expert, and then people will pay you more. Now, my approach is that if you're an expert, then the supply demand, the regular rules of economy doesn't apply, because people will pay you extra because you have a unique perspective, because your products bring them something that is very it's unique. We talked about sell the problems before the solutions. The bigger the problem, the more I'm willing to pay for it. For example, if we take two bouquets of flowers, a regular bouquet of flowers, I can charge, let's say, $100. And another bouquet, we call it bridal bouquet, bouquet for flowers for the wedding. I can charge $300 to $500. So the same flowers. The change is the needs, because if you buy flowers for the wedding, you don't actually buy flowers. You buy, the image of the bride, the winning feeling of $1 million feeling or something like that. You buy the pictures of it, will be taken pictures, and you will sit in 10 years from now with the bride and groom with their kids and look at the photo album and say, oh, look how beautiful mommy was. And 30 years from now, they will sit with their grandkids and say, oh, look how beautiful grandmother was. This is what I buy now when I buy flowers for the wedding. So you need to ask yourself, what is unique about what you do, and what is the problem of the clients? And if you solve the problem, then you can charge more. Now, most businesses, they charge less than what they can charge. And sometimes they negotiate with themselves. They will say, I will take this. No, probably the clients will run away. So I will give a discount. No, I will give it a huge discount. And now, there is war, there is summer, there is elections, there is problems out there. People may not buy. So I'll give more discount. But instead of negotiating with ourselves, we need to focus on market ourselves better and charge higher. And something I teach in all of my books, including the 21st Century Sales Bible and Creative Marketing, is how to ask and get higher prices, even in a saturated market. Because I don't care about competitors. I care about my value. I create my value. And I would like the clients, the customers, who I will be having fun working with. And also they will have the money to pay what I think they should pay, because they know what value they get.
Wow. Moving along to the next step in this beautiful process. I'm feeling like I'm just stacking brick after brick here on this episode with you. And I'm almost just as excited to see what the house looks like when we're done building it, because then I'll have lots of questions on the interior design elements. So when it comes to personal branding and blue oceans, you just mentioned a red ocean and how in saturated markets you can push through with premium pricing, and how that's something which is weaved into all of your content effectively across your books as well. When it comes to differentiating yourself and creating unique market spaces for yourself, can you unlock major growth even when you show up late to the party?
Can you give an example of your questions?
Sure. So, for example, like when it comes to even just your name as Dr. Persuasion, how did you carve out your niche as being Dr. Persuasion?
Okay.
How did you
By
show
the way,
me? We want to know you, because I see you're very popular. You're on YouTube. You're on lots of different channels. You have a large following, and I'm just also I got to understand the man behind all the content. That's also why, as much of an AI user as I am, and it's my best friend as well. You're my best friend. I just don't know you. The difference between you and AI is that at your core, there's a mystery. It's called the nature and the nurture and the combination there too. When we speak about AI, we're not speaking about it in the same terminology. I need to get to know who Dr. Persuasion is. Here we go.
So first of all, today authenticity is very important in business and in sales and marketing. And I think social media, on the one hand, we have, like I mentioned, Facebook illusion or TikTok illusion that everyone looks perfect. On the other hand, if you have problems, then you can talk about it on social media and people can relate to it. So if 10, 15 years ago, I maybe was just Dr. Persuasion or Dr. Yaniv Zaid, today I tell also a lot of stories about myself, about my personal life, about my struggles, etc. And I see it helps not only me personally, but it helps business. It helps my business. In high tech companies, there is a line of lectures. It's called Fuck Up Nights. What is Fuck Up Nights? That entrepreneurs telling other entrepreneurs about their failures. Now there is a twist that usually people say, in my first company, I lost 100 millions of investors. My second company, I got bankrupt and I got divorced. And my third company is PayPal. Something like that. It usually is a failure, success, something like that. But almost never hear stories like, my first company, I had $100 million. I lost $100 million of investors. My second company, I got bankrupt. And now I am unemployed, homeless, living with my parents or something like that. Usually it will be a failure, success. But people enjoy the authenticity, to be authentic. So yes, I'm Dr. Persuasion. By the way, it's a very catchy name, it's a very brand name. And I'm trying to be everywhere in all the relevant platforms of my target audience. And I also have a team and staff that I write the content and they spread it out there in every platform. but I would like also people to meet me. Obviously, people who I work with personally with my, for example, consulting problems, or they join my workshops or my conferences, I would like to meet them personally. But again, I can be authentic and still provide, for example, a video that can spread to millions of people that they will get to know me. So I don't see contradiction here. It's you can be authentic and you can reach many people. Some digital marketer told me once that people work very hard to be authentic online. It's like it's a thing in reverse. But I said what he meant is that people usually take, if you are influencer, you usually take 200 pictures, 200 photos, and you pick the best one out of the 200 and you Photoshop it and then you upload it to your Facebook or something like that. So this is maybe an extreme scenario, but you can always find a balance between being professional and also be authentic, and that people can know whatever you want them to know about yourself.
And how does that tie into you processing your own thoughts and turning them into written word or into the content that you share?
It's very simple. If you have some unique perspective to the world, okay, if you're very professional in what you do, if you have practical tips in what you do, you can be whatever, a gardener or something like that. You have tips. What I'm talking about is making your knowledge or turning your knowledge into income, turning your knowledge into money. So, and today in 2025 we have lots more options to do it than 20 years ago, 30 years ago, or something like that, because we have many platforms that people are willing to pay you money for your ideas and thoughts and for your content. And again, you can multiply yourself, you can clone yourself, because if I am a coach or psychiatrist or something like that, and or mediator, and I talk to people one-on-one and I provide value, only I and them we know about their value. But if I record the session and then I put it out there online, then many more people can enjoy this value. So we have a great opportunity to share the world our thoughts. And if we talk about business-wise, not just our thoughts, which movie I like, okay? But unless if I am a movie creator, director, or movie, creator or something like that. But I have professional thoughts like I do here now on sales and marketing, and I share it with my audience. And then, even though you share your thoughts for free in many occasions, for example, on YouTube or social media or in podcasts, etc., people will still, some of them would like to come to you and say, okay, I heard your thoughts. I even read your book, so I paid you a little money, okay, to your company. But now, or even I bought your Echo, but now I would like to ask you questions. I would like to meet you for a private business consulting meeting or something like that. So it helps, again, the business model. So just share your thoughts and put yourself in front of clients, in front of audiences, in front of viewers on YouTube, in front of listeners on Spotify or whatever. And if you're good and if you have unique perspective, then you have a growing community, and then you can sell to them products and services and your knowledge.
So maybe if you wouldn't mind, just off the top, Dr. Persuasion, what are some of your greatest professional successes that you could use to help us understand and get into your frame of reference?
Okay, so I think I wrote, like I mentioned, 11 books, and I managed to sell them to 12 languages. For example, my new release, the 21st Century Sales Bible, I sold it to China and Russia and Vietnam and India and United States and other countries. There are different superpowers, different mentalities, and I managed to sell the same book to different mentalities or different superpowers. Each publishing house, they do their adjustment to their target audience, but still, it's a very big achievement. Now, the reason I did it, first of all, because I tried, because I offered the book to many publishing houses and many literary agents in all of those languages, and I wasn't afraid of it. And second of all, because I came to book fairs, because if you choose your target audience, you need to ask yourself, where this target audience, where are they? Where are they online, and where are they in the actual world? So in my area, if you would like, for example, publishers or literary agents, you can find them online. Obviously, you can send them emails and LinkedIn messages like we met online. And you can also go and meet them where they are. They are free. The biggest book fairs, international book fairs worldwide, are in China in June in Beijing, in each October in Frankfurt, Germany, the biggest one in the world, and London on March each year, London, England. So what I do is, since 2012, I'm going to these fairs and I try to sell. It's like the biggest marketplace in the world for buying and selling rights of books. And I go there and I try to get meetings before with publishers and literary agents. Most of the time I don't succeed, but then I come there and I have a list of publishers who are relevant for me, and I go back-to-back meetings or have back-to-back meetings and try to tell about my book in an interesting way and sell the rights of the book. And the last 3-4 years, I also help other authors because people reached me because of my success, and they told me, okay, I have also a book. Can you teach me what you do? Again, we talked about how to monetize your knowledge or how to transform your content into money. So I started taking money for it and say, okay, I'm going to the fair. You can come with me. You can pay me, and I will come. You can come and see what I do, and also I will come with you to your meetings and try to help you sell the rights of your book. With my partners, the ebook pro, they are the biggest literary agency in Israel. We combined 3 years ago when we had something it's called the delegations of authors, usually from Israel, but it's also global. And we go with 15 authors each conference, each book fair, to the book fair, and we help them close as many deals as we can. And they pay us money before, so this is a great way not just to multiply your knowledge, but also to create content that create value for many people, and also to create lots of money, because I go either way to the conference, but now if I take 15 people with me, they go to see what I do and I help them do the same, then I can, let's say, it's not cloning myself because it's me out there, but you have a system, you have a model, and then you implement it to many people. So this is something that is one example of how to take your achievements, your professional achievement, and achieve it with lots of hard work, because usually people don't see the lab hours. They see the success, they don't see the lab hours. The amount of times I went abroad alone and tried and heard lots of no, not just yes, but most of the time you hear no, and you keep going. But then when you have the success, then people would like to be part of it and would like you to teach them what you already know.
So that's a success story. You mentioned that it's very important also to share the vulnerable side, the failure side. So what's one major lesson that you learned from failure?
First of all, I try to develop myself all the time as a human being, as a husband, as a father. I got divorced. I'm married now for the second time, so I had failures also in my personal life, and I try to learn each time. And it's hard because if you own a business, even if you have dozens of employees, and if you manage a company, if you have thousands of people, eventually you are alone at the head of the pyramid, and you need to look after yourself both mentally and physically, and you need to be mentally strong, and you need to be mentally healthy. So you need to work all the time. So I believe that every expert is a student, and you learn forever. So I'm not perfect. I will never be perfect. I always try to get better and learn from my mistakes. One of my let's say mistakes or failures. I once had a webinar many years ago, and it's very hard. How hard is it to bring people to your webinar? Back then, there was no podcast, no Spotify yet or something, but just had webinars, and we used the webinar to sell our products. You had the 1 hour webinar. You provide value, and at the end you say, okay, if you would like more, then I have a workshop or a digital course or something like that. Usually, when I schedule it 2 months ahead or something like that. It turns out that in that evening, that was the finals of American Idol, the show, a very famous show, and also what was the semifinals of Champions League in football, something like that. But by the way, I love football. I felt very bad that I am going to miss this match. And then I sit in 9 o'clock in the evening, 9 p.m., with I think 300 people online. One of the tips I also teach is also empower the audience, to always send compliments to the audience. So immediately I started with compliments. I said, okay, hi everyone, let's begin the webinar. I'm flattered that you came here and it chose me and not the finals of American Idol. And then I look at the beginning at the screen, and I see instead of 300 people, 200 people, 100 people left. You see the number decreases very, very rapidly. And then I said with 200 people, 100 people left. And then I didn't realize what I did then. And I said, and if you don't like American Idol, then I'm very honored that you chose me and not semifinals between Liverpool and Milan or something like that. Immediately I see the 100 people. So I lost 200 people in 15 seconds. What happened? I talked about my competition, because the 300 people, most of them, they didn't check what other alternatives they have. They didn't say, okay, we have Yaniv, listen to Yaniv, we have semifinals, we have the of Champions League, we have American Idol final or something like that. They say, okay, there is a webinar, it is interesting me. I'm going to sign up, and I'm going to see it. Now I told them that there are alternatives. I told them what are the options, and then I ran them away. Now I see it in negotiations all the time and meetings. So my conclusion was never talk about the competition, never talk about your competitors, okay? Because I see, and I saw in many meetings that, for example, if I try to sell you something and I meet with you and you already got a price quote for me, and maybe you're ready to buy. And then I tell you something like, you know, I'm A, I'm better than B and then C. Yes, and then you ask me, who is B? Who is C? You don't know about my competitors, you know, and then you won't close with me now. You will check also with B and C and try to get a price quotes out of them before you close with me, and then you can compare. So usually the mistake we do is because we know our market, we know our competitors. Maybe we try to talk about them during meetings or something like that, but it's a mistake. That webinar I learned in the hard way. Never mentioned the competition or the alternatives. Create a space. We talked about blue ocean in comparison of red ocean. So blue ocean means that there is lots of space or room for everyone. So many people will come to me. Many people come to others. It's okay. I don't need to talk about the competition. I just need to be the best version of myself, and I need to treat the market as a blue ocean. And we talked about AI. We talked about Riverside or Zoom. So it opened out the world, you know. So I can today sit in Israel in Tel Aviv and lecture for all the world. And sometimes I do. Sometimes I have a lecture in the morning, 7 a.m. Israel time in Australia, and that evening, and then I have a full day job in Israel, and then in the evening I have some lecture to the United States in 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock p.m. Israel time, when it's now noon in the United States or something like that. So we have so many options today. We need to focus not on our competitors. We need to think creatively in a competitive way, and to try to be the best version of ourselves.
What do you read? What do you learn? Where do you go to gather information? And I'm not just talking about the direct content that you speak about, like reading a book on negotiation. I'm talking about what do you do that is indirect, but that is extremely important in your life that you've been doing for a long time, that it gives you this, that transfers over into this field of expertise?
Great. First of all, I try to balance my life between work and my kids and my spouse and my hobbies. Like, for example, I'm a soccer fan of Maccabi Haifa football club, so I see all the games, and I sometimes go to games, and I love sports very much. So I try to have a balance in life that I will have. So I will work hard, and I also play hard. You know, work hard, play hard, and I will have lots of free time. And I read a lot. Read a lot is part of my develop, and not just business books like you mentioned about my topics, but also professional books. I love biographies of politicians and of people, you know, movie stars, whatever. I always look for for the resurrection part, you know, for the fall and rise, not just I was a kid, and then I found my mission, and then I was great, and I was greater. No, I'm looking for ups and downs. Like we talked about fuck up nights. I'm looking for the juicy stories, because this is the way I can inspired by famous people, and I can also learn from them. So I like biographies, I like autobiographies, and I like history books, and I also hear podcasts and webinars, and also I enjoy very much hearing lectures. Each time I'm in a conference providing a lecture, I try, if I can handle the time, to stay after my lecture and hear the one before after me, or to come early and hear some lectures before me. It's very important for me to expose myself to as many knowledge as possible. So I read books, and I hear podcasts, and I hear webinars, and I go to conferences or network a lot. Come and I always tell business owners, best practice of marketing and sales: go out of the office, go out of the house, get out and meet people. Like I said, even in the digital era, there is no replacement for it. So I always try to be boots on the ground and be at places and talk to people, and then I can be exposed to lots of information.
Okay. I want to push farther into this autobiography, or sorry, which historical character do you find to be the most interesting?
Oh, there are many. From sport, I take, for example, Michael Jordan. I joined very much, the Last Dance, this movie. By the way, I see also lots of movies, and I like the cinema. I like Netflix. enjoy this. For me, it's also a contact that I take not just for fun, but also for learning. So in sport, you have Michael Jordan, you have Ronaldo, you have LeBron James. And I always try to listen to the interviews, what they say about themselves, how they practice, not just the results of the games, okay, but also how they practice, how they treat their colleagues in the team or something like that, how they stay in shape for so many years, how they stay competitive for so many years. This is in sport. In politics, again, I read biographies of many famous politicians. Michelle Obama, I remember I read the biography Becoming, and I was highly inspired because she was in most of her career in life, she was the only woman in the room and the only black person in the room. So it took me by surprise. By the way, Donald Trump has a great the president of the United States today. He had a great book. It's called The Art of Making the Deal. Back in the 80s, and what I was interested in the book is not about the principles of deal making or negotiation, but his story. Because, for example, I don't know if you know, but when he was second generation of real estate in New York, and he inherited lots of money from his father, Fred. But if the story ends here, we don't care about it, because only like you, we have thousands more like you in New York City alone. So it's not interesting enough. But he managed in a magical way to lose all the money and to be bankrupt, to become a bankrupt, and then he managed to make all the money again and more, okay, in real estate. And then he managed in a magical way to lose the money again. The joke was that all the books they ended in chapter 11. Chapter 11 in the United States is when you get bankrupt. So he got bankrupt twice, and then he managed to be a billionaire again. Now that's an interesting story, because then what I care about is the rise and fall and rise, the resurrection part. This is what I care about. So this is why I buy the book, not because of the principles in negotiation. Because if you manage to become a billionaire once over and over, that means you have some mentality here I would like to learn from. So this is something I look when I gather information and use it.
That's amazing. I think we have a lot we can take in. And
Uh,
also, if you have anything you'd like to share about the projects you're working on, for the audience to check out in further detail, please also mention that.
Great. So first of all, you can check my website. It's drpersuasion.com, and you can check me in all the social media. Yaniv Zaid, Yaniv Zaid, on Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Telegram, Instagram, LinkedIn. And also you can send an email, yaniv@yanivzaid.com, Yaniv@yanivzaid.com. You can ask any question you may have, and I will be happy to answer you. And also, you mentioned one tip. We talked about many tips. I told you enjoy what you do and love your audience, etc. But I think another good tip is listen to people, because I like to talk and you like to talk, and usually most speakers and most salesperson, market persons, and managers, they like to talk. But against our instinct, we need to teach ourselves how to listen, because most marketing or sales conversation should be about the other side. So if I will talk most of the sales conversation, then first of all, I will be very tired after each meeting and after a full day of meetings. Second of all, clients, they want to talk, they want to share, they want to ask questions. So give them the opportunity. So against our instinct, because usually if people are great listeners, they won't become managers. But if you are a manager, if you are a salesperson, if you are a marketing person or business person, you need to teach yourself how to listen to people. And then after you listen and you understand carefully their, like you said, problems and needs and pains, then you can adapt yourself to them. And then you can show your product and services like the solution to the problems, or the answer to the needs, or the cure to their pains.
Thank you so much, Dr. Yaniv Zaid, Dr. Persuasion. We're so honored to have you on our channel, and we look forward to having you back again soon to
Thank you very
follow
much,
up
Daniel.
and talk about this.
Thank you very much. It was a privilege for me to be here. You have great questions. You built something great here. So I wish you luck. And again, everyone would like to ask us questions, please do, and contact me.
Absolutely. All right, then. Thank you so much. Have
Thank
a
you.
wonderful day.